Hey everyone, welcome back to Catching Up with the Walkers. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Drink my sparkling water.
And I am drinking water. It's a little bit past breakfast time, so we've already had our coffee for the day. But we did want to sit down today and catch up with everybody on all the stuff coming up because there is a lot coming up at Walker Farm.
Yes.
And a chance to come and listen to all the wisdom that's going to come out of this mouth live, right? Right in person, right?
I don't know about that. They might just be desperate.
Well, if they're looking for chicken advice, surely you can help them out with a little bit of a chicken advice, Cassie.
Yes. I'm no expert, but I've kept chickens alive for several years now, so I think I know what I'm doing.
You killed a few too. Not you, I'm just joking. Not you necessarily. Well, actually, we've ate several, so yes, you have. But if you don't know what we're talking about, then you probably haven't been watching our channel.
You've been living under a rock.
I was going to say the same thing. The Okie Homesteading Expo is putting on an event at the Oklahoma City Fair called the
Oklahoma State Fair.
Oklahoma State Fair.
In Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, called the Urban Homesteading Expo. So that is this Sunday, September 15th, from 11 to 7-ish is what time the expo is. The fair hours are earlier and later than that. But it's in Oklahoma City at the Oklahoma State Fair. Gary and I have never been. Oklahoma City's a couple-hour drive from here, so it's not something we just attend. We usually go to the Tulsa State Fair, which is like 40 minutes away and is a big deal.
Or the Mays County Fair, which is 15 minutes away, and we shared that with you on our last Walker Farm Fan video.
Yeah, so this will be our first time to Oklahoma State Fair. We're excited, and we'll be coming. I'll be talking about chickens, but how to raise them like in the suburbs, I guess.
Urbanly, which we started out with basically a setup of backyard chickens at our very first farm, and we kept it that way for at least 3 years.
Yeah. So just kind of how to do chickens on a smaller scale. But also we'll have our brand new merch that no one has ever seen other than the people I've texted pictures to.
Fingers crossed. If it gets finished in time.
It better. I'm saying it is.
Okay.
And I'm going to be giving some things away. I'm going to bring some eggs. Yeah, well, we want to meet you, even if you have no interest in chickens. There's people...
Why don't you tell them, so some of the other speakers that are going to be there...
Let me look on here, because I'll leave somebody
out. Mr. Beam Farms, he says quail is the new chicken. Are you going to... Is he
coming in on my territory?
Are you going to try to debate him? Is quail really the new chicken? Because I've seen the quail eggs. They're not very big.
Yeah. Wicking Tubs, Gardening with Leon.
Oh, okay. Leon has a following. And his following is so loyal. Whenever he came to the Okie Homesteading Expo, I don't know how many greenhouses he sold, but like people were all going home with new greenhouses.
Yeah, so Leon, he's just an amazing guy. Plus he's going to be teaching about wicking tubs, herbal medicine by Red Feather Farms, beekeeping, sweet stingers, honey, and apiary. That's how you say it, right?
Yes.
Simply sourdough. Shearer Homestead, Quail the New Chicken, Beam Farm, Urban Aquaponics, Olive Branch Aquaponics. So they come to the expo, but they're kind of urban aquaponics. So how to do it in a smaller setting, I'm assuming.
The thing with aquaponics, you don't need a lot of space. You can do it
and that's why I'm sure
scale.
Beam Farm is talking about quail, because I've always told my sister who lives in a housing addition that if she was wanting something for eggs or meat, I would do quail. Basic canning, Lorraine Chihak. This is why I almost didn't say because I don't know
Lorraine with basic canning.
Okay, I'm really bad at names. And then backyard chickens with Walker Farm Fam.
There you go.
So, come see us. If you don't even care about chickens, maybe you care about sourdough. But just come meet everybody. We'll be there. Keeping It Dutch and Hidden Heights Farms are the host, so they'll be there. I know that Eddie Family Farm will be there and Grounds Family. I don't know.
Is this the last day of the fair?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think it starts the 12th, so it's probably the first half of the fair.
Okay.
Why?
Because here's the deal with the fair vendors. If they still have, if they
You
brought
can talk them
stuff,
down.
yeah, if they brought stuff and they're willing to, part with it on their way out, I might could bring me home a new tractor.
You'd have to go, I believe it's like okstatefair.org or com or something. Gary can probably look it up. That's where you get your tickets if you want to buy them early. That's where you'll get all your information on how long the fair is going and the hours and all that. I believe you can come in at like 10 a.m. and you don't have to leave till like 10 p.m. or something.
Yeah, and you can get your tickets at the gate.
Yeah,
With any fair, it's really low key as far as getting in and out goes. You walk up, you get your tickets, you walk in.
Yeah.
You go find our area.
Nothing has to be pre-done unless you just want to. But when you get there, you'll have to figure out your parking and paying and all that. And we're in the Modern Living Building, I believe it's called. So there, you can find all that information online. Modern Living Building. So I'm sure the fair is really big. So there's maps and things online if you want to know exactly where to go to. But I'll be speaking at 6 o'clock and the first speaker's at 11. So come have some fun with us. So
I know some of the exhibitors or talk speakers are going to be great and they're going to have a lot of great information. But if you come and listen to Cassie at 6 o'clock, I'm a hype man right now for Cassie. If you're coming to listen to Cassie at 6 o'clock, you might just walk away with this brand new, shiny, never been used before. Last time we power washed everything.
Yeah, last time I took used stuff and I power washed and it still wasn't super clean. So this time I bought brand new things and then I told Gary that I want to give it all away. So this is one of my favorite feeders.
Rent-A-Coop.
Yeah, and I was thinking about not putting it all together, but I probably will so it can be on the table so people can see it out throughout the day maybe. But also I wanted them to see how easy it is to put it together. So this is what I use in my grow out pen when they're after 4 to 6 weeks when I move them out. I use this, and inside it has a dome that you put on it, which makes it to where they will, but they don't roost on it as bad. This is the chicken feeders and waters from Little Clucker that I use in the brooder. They have legs that make them longer, so I'm going to keep it all packaged though for when we get there. It's all packaged.
And none of this is sponsored, by the way. Nobody's telling us to recommend these. These are things that Cassie has bought on Amazon.
Yeah, I used Rent-A-Coop waterers for when we had rabbits, and I reached out to them and asked if they wanted to collab, and they said nicely, that's not something they do, but if I wanted to be a wholesaler I could, and I'm like, nope. And then I bought this stuff. We need to get a 2 buckets, Gary.
Yeah, I've got a brand new bucket out in the shop.
Okay, I need 2.
A pickle bucket.
Isn't there waters in there too?
Yes, they're in there.
So on site, while I'm talking, Gary is going to build a feeder and a waterer to show people how you can just buy this and these waterers that are in here, I assume.
I think they might actually be there. We'll find them though either way.
Oh, yeah, that's the feeders. Oh, yeah.
The waterers are in there.
Okay, so what's this?
That's the drill bit to drill the holes.
Okay, so feeders and waterers are in this. Then you just buy your bucket with a lid, whatever size you want. We have some that are really big and we have some that are smaller, and you just make your own.
Yeah, so not only do we want people to come and learn and listen and walk away with knowledge, but we also want to show them. People are different types of learners. You have the type of people that need to hear, the type of people need to see, and then the type of people that need to touch and feel and do that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
somewhere there's a big black rubber tub also that I ordered that you should have picked up at the post office today.
That's where it's at. It's in the car.
That we use in the winter months for water because it'll freeze and you'll crack out your plastic waters. But it freezes and we just turn it over, step on it, ice falls out, and we fill it back up. So you can use those for feed pans for lots of different animals, but that's what we use. That's how we water our chickens in the wintertime.
And some of this probably sounds like really basic information. Like people are like, well, if I'm getting chickens, yeah, I know they need feed and water and stuff. But that's the thing. People don't know what to get. There's 100 things that will work, but whenever we've tried 5 different feeders and 5 different waters.
That's why I like to talk about this, is because when we first got chickens, we went to the local store, bought what they had, and we hated them. And so over the last Well, aside from what we did at Rose, feeding and watering, we really didn't pay much attention then because no one was trying to learn from us. But when our farm here, I've got way more chickens than we ever had. And so feeding and water has been important. I had never hatched, I'd never brooded, I'd never had a grow out pen. So now I've found what works at different stages and buying different kinds to see what keeps your food dry and they don't make the water so dirty, all those things. So if I can help someone not buy 6 different feeders before they find one, then that's a win for me.
Yeah. And if you guys want to learn, then you have to come out.
Yeah. And it's also very basic. You may or may not learn something from me. You might already know it. But there's only so much you can talk about chickens because it's not like
they don't really evolve.
The sky's the limit. Yeah, it's not like, okay, so your first 4 years, this is how you raise them. Then once you get to be an expert, this is how you raise them. I mean, there's different methods and different ways, but a chicken's a chicken at the end of the day.
Yeah. But I am excited for the event because not only along with the chickens, but all the other topics, these are the things that people need to be learning right now. The things that people can do right in their backyard if you live in town and you live on a small acreage or whatever the case may be, is to be more self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. Don't depend on the grocery store for every single thing you have. And we've went through the past few years and events have happened that have opened people's eyes. There was a big uptick, I believe, in the homesteading and urban homesteading and this and that. And I feel like it's kind of up and down, but there's a reason why it was an eye-opener, and it was because the grocery store shelves were empty, people couldn't get the things they wanted, they were worried about where their food is coming from, and now I feel like there's a newer generation, or maybe, we're millennials, but
there was kind of a break in things not being passed down from ancestors and people older than you, because it was like, well, that's not important, I don't need to do that. And then we realized it was important. So then now there's a generation that teach me how to make sourdough, teach me how to do this, what do I need to do that. I may not do it right now in the moment, but I want to be able to have the skills if I so need so.
Yeah, I feel like
that makes sense.
I feel like there's generations coming up right now, and just friends that we know that are a little bit younger than us that are really into making sure that they have whole milk or milk that has not been pasteurized, directly from the farm. They are putting a higher value on meat and beef and chicken directly from farms versus getting it from Walmart and other places. So
yeah, you never saw storms. I apparently need more coffee. You never saw stores really that sold homegrown meat, like true homegrown meat. If you did, it was rare, or you had to drive 40 minutes to find it. Well, we have 2 places in our hometown three places that I can think of off the top of my head where you can go get farm fresh something, just in our town. And then there's, if I think about Choteau, Pryor, Claremore, like within driving distance, I couldn't even tell you how many places that you can go get it.
Yeah, and so people are starting to put more of a value on it, and not only for their health, but also just because they want to know where their food comes from and what's in it. And I feel like we're going in the right direction in a lot of different areas. But this whole event around urban homesteading, the canning, wicking tubs, all of it together is going to be great.
Teaching you how to do it on a small scale, and you can grow from that. Like, you don't have to have this huge garden and get overwhelmed with it. He's going to teach you how to do a wicking tub, and maybe one year you grow tomatoes and nothing else. You don't have to go get 35 chickens for eggs and things. I'm going to teach you how to have 4 or 5 and do what you need to do. The sourdough, I'm sure she's going to show you a very basic, simple way to do it, because when I have looked at it, some of them are so overwhelming in such a process. I'm like, yeah. Bees, people getting their own honey and doing all that. So many benefits to that. I'm sure they're going to teach you how to do that on a smaller scale. So if you don't have plans for this coming Sunday, September 15th, Oklahoma City. It's pretty central. You can drive from all the different places, or there's an airport literally like miles from the Oklahoma State Fair.
It might be a little late to get their tickets, but maybe not.
I mean, I don't know.
It's up to you.
You mean an airplane
Yeah.
ticket? You can't just get one of those in a day?
Well, you can, but a lot of times, if you wait till like the week of getting your flights, you're going to pay through the roof.
Well, how important is it to
okay,
you?
I see.
Maybe you rent a car. Maybe you drive. Anyway, come out, and maybe you're saying, well, I'm not going to do any of these things. Well, in a year or two, you might. And what if the Urban Homesteading Expo doesn't happen again?
There you go. So one of the main reasons I want all these people to go do this, Cassie, is because I need more people doing niche items, like really specialized things. Because I'm not going to do everything. Like I'm probably not going to have bees.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I'm not going to have a milk cow.
You say niche or niche?
Either one, niche.
I say niche.
Okay. Probably not going to have a milk cow, but if I could get a neighbor that had a really good milk cow that produced extra milk, guess what I could do?
Trade them some beef.
I'm going to trade them ground beef, pound for pound or pound for gallon
Or veggies or eggs.
Whatever. If I had a neighbor right down the road from me that
wanted to make me fresh bread every day.
That wanted to do fresh bread every day, guess what I could do? Pound of beef or a pound of a dozen eggs, a dozen fresh chicken eggs. Trade
some tomatoes.
A dozen eggs for a loaf of bread. And I feel like
trade some child labor.
Now we're talking about illegal things, Cassie. Okay? We're trying to keep this legal. But my point is that I want to be able to
trade some husband labor.
Barter. I want to be able to barter. Well, possibly like, you go work for a day and get whatever it is, the goods that they produce. Because here's the thing. When we can all barter, when you barter, I barter, and we trade, everything that we produce goes further. You know why?
Why, Gary?
Because it's not being taxed. There is no tax when you barter. It's all just handshake, back and forth, trade, barter. The more that we could do that as a society, the more we all win. But the more that we get higher quality, homegrown, locally produced, better for us, better for the environment, because it's not getting flown on an airplane or shipped on a train or whatever. Like all the things, if you really look at all the least times a product is touched, when it goes from the producer directly to the consumer, and Cassie's been on me about this, creating a roadside stand to sell our extra goods. I really enjoy giving our eggs to the food pantry, and it's just something I like to do. But maybe next year or the year after, we might create a roadside stand mainly for the kids, because that would get them more excited. Some ownership of planting things in the garden.
I didn't just pick all this stuff for us to
give away.
Eat. Well, giveaway's fine, but like sometimes they pick all the tomatoes and then we may or may not eat them all, which we should give them away at that point. But give them a little job. Hey, you pick 30, we give away 10, we eat 10 and we sell 10.
Yeah, having that mix, but having them.
But what I want to do,
connect the dots of I worked hard, I get rewarded.
But what I want to do, and maybe it's not feasible, but I would like a stand that pay what you can. If you need some tomatoes and you don't have a penny, then take the tomatoes you want. And at that point, you're just relying on people not being jerks.
You could do like a suggested price, and then if you can't afford it, have it for free.
Yeah, I mean, you need some eggs, take some eggs.
You could always throw that out there.
Anyway, we got the fruit trees. Hopefully next year we'll have some produce off of that. So
I ate 2 apples while I was mowing grass.
Did you?
Yeah, almost every time I mowed, I'd get an apple.
I looked at them here the other day and I wasn't too sure about it. But that's just one more thing to add. But I mean, I got a persimmon tree. Persimmons aren't for everybody, but I'll pick some and put them down there.
So this kind of also leads me to not a complete confession, but I need to tell Cassie because I want to catch her off guard. But we have a neighbor back here that's back behind us that is going to be building a house, and they would like a milk cow, but they don't really have room for a milk cow. And the wife really wants a milk cow to milk every day. And the husband's not like 100% there yet. So I made an offer. If they will milk the cow, I will buy a cow and we get half the milk. So does that sound like a fair trade?
Yeah.
I'll buy the cow. We can put it over there. We can put it over here. I don't care where the cow's at. But they milk the cow. We get half the milk. They get half the milk.
Sorry, Ranger is having a problem at lunch on what food he's supposed to get, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh, okay. So,
but I agree. Yeah, just keep talking. And
okay. So let me know what you think. Does that sound like a fair trade? I'm good with cows. I like cows, and I would not mind buying a nice small milk cow and then having milk. And I honestly, I probably don't even think we need half of it. I would just want enough for our family, and we'd be good. So let me know what you guys think about that deal, and Cassie's going to figure out
BRB. Hang on.
The lunch thing.
And we're back.
So Cassie's good with the cow, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I mean, not us having a cow. I was halfway listening. So at our school, we don't have a cafeteria, but 3 days a week you can pre-order food. And today's pizza day. And they needed to know if Ranger got cheese or pepperoni because the paper didn't say. So then I had to go back through my email because I can't remember what he told me he wanted, because typically he's a sausage pizza eater, but there's only cheese or pepperoni as the option. So I had to ask him. Anyway.
But it is a nice convenience that we don't have to pack the lunch on those days when they offer it.
Yeah. So were you saying for them to get the milk cow?
So she really wants the milk cow.
Yeah.
And obviously
I ain't milking it though.
They're in a rental property right now, so they're like building a house over here, and they have enough land that they could probably fit it, at least in one cow, and it could come over here if it needed to.
They could come over here and she can come milk it.
I've got hay, we got feed, we can take care of it, but neither one of us really want to commit to adding that to our plate.
I don't like milk that much.
Of a milk cow every single day. And I'm not really all about it, but if there is somebody all about it, and the only thing keeping them from it is not having the milk cow, and we could get the milk back, I feel like I'm all about the barter system, right?
Yeah,
so that would be bartering.
So they get the milk cow and milk it, and we give them beef or something? Because I assume they'll have some egg.
No. So our involvement would be we provide the milk cow.
Oh, we buy the cow.
They provide the labor.
Okay.
And the trade is we split it 50-50.
Okay.
So we do have skin in the game.
Yeah.
They do the labor. We provide
the cow. So basically, you're going to buy the cow for her so her husband doesn't have to.
Well, and here's the other thing. Yeah. Well, no. Just to make sure that we have a part of it. So we don't have to trade beef for it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So our milk cow, we'll be searching for one. I just got to talk my buddy into committing to it too.
Well, and they only have chat down for the foundation of the house, so
it'll be a little.
It's going to be a while.
But they have 3 kids, and their kids go through a lot of milk. We have 3 kids, and our kids go through quite a bit of milk as well. So I think.
But at this stage, our kids are so much older and drink the milk they drink. Are they going to drink the other kind of milk?
You just turn the key and say, "Kids, this is what you got."
Mazzy. Oh, I can only... Mazzy, you get a different brand.
Put a little chocolate syrup in there, swirl it up, you're good to go.
You get a different brand for Mazzy, and her not even knowing it. Like, she don't even see the container. She takes a drink, nope, this is different.
And
Are you gonna put it in the jug from...
So a big part of this, too, by the way, is the guy is a buddy of mine, and I really just want to see the look on his face when I back my trailer up to his house and I lead a cow out of the trailer and I leave. That is really the whole reason I want to do this. So I'll just be honest. I mean, that's 99% of it.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. I don't know that I've had fresh cow's milk.
You have that shock factor. My grandpa ran a dairy.
Do you remember drinking it though?
When I was a kid, yeah. We used to go down there and we had a cup that they had a hot sink there.
Everybody used.
No, they had a hot sink, boiling hot water. Whenever those dairy people work and they sanitize, their water, you could not wash your hands in it. It would burn you. So you sanitize it anyway. You take the cup. They would have to, sample it too at some point. if a cow gets in an onion patch, guess what happens?
Tastes like
It
onions.
tastes like onions. Anyway, so and the cream. Sometimes you get the cream. Anyway, it's good. I really like it.
When I worked at Salina, I had a student bring me fresh goat's milk. I don't remember if I've even ever had fresh cow's milk.
And the good thing is when it's in the big tanks, like bigger than a propane tank, the big milk tank, it's really cold, and so it keeps it cold. So it's not like you're drinking the warm milk straight from the cow. That's different. That not so much. There's a mental thing that goes on there. But whenever you get it out of a refrigerator and it's ice cold, it's really good. You'll like it.
I'm sure I will.
Well, just wait till we get this cow. Does have any name suggestions for the said cow? Cassie thinks Betsy is a good one.
Yeah.
That's
the name.
I think Betsy is a fine name, and also we need to figure out a breed because you got Guernsey.
I thought Jersey was just the way you went.
Jersey. There's Holstein. I think Jersey's the higher cream content. So if you want lots of cream, Jersey's definitely going to be the breed.
We're gonna get all sorts of emails.
They want a smaller. There was I forget what breed it was, but they like a smaller breed.
Dexter.
Maybe a Dexter, but I know a dairyman or two.
I know Britain. She's already.
She's my family. I wasn't ever going to say the name, but go ahead. You already.
I know she's already
researched
all this, so I'm sure she knows where it's at and all that.
We'll find the right cow. Just got to take the time.
Anyway,
so as far as catching up with the walkers, we always do try to do some time for a prayer request, and we'll do a quick update on a little girl that has leukemia. She's been out of the hospital, back and forth, home and away.
Yeah, and getting chemo and blood transfusions and lots of things, making sure numbers are good and different stuff like that. So all in all the updates I see, she's doing good and as expected. There's like a so many day process, and the other day they were halfway through it, I believe. So yeah, just continue to pray for strength and wisdom and for her body to heal and have energy and just be doing all the things it needs to do for it to be in remission is the goal after this process, that it's in remission.
Yeah, and her name is Ava, so if you would remember her. And as a kid, that's always used to going and doing and, sports and all the activities and having to stay, at home and away from people more or less a lot because they don't want her to get sick and catch anything that will give her a fever, which would make her go back to the hospital. So just be in prayer for her and her family as they work through this and get through it completely. So we've got to keep going with our day though. But as always, we want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We hope you have a great day and God bless.
We love you guys.